Hey y'all, what's up? It's Caitlin and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, we are going to be doing a full face of first impressions. I was so excited to finally be able to do this video. The drugstore has been gradually coming out with some new items, but not so many at one time to where I could go pick out my full face all at once. So I sat patiently and I waited for new things to come out in the drugstore, and finally I went to Walgreens and got the last few remaining items I needed to do this video. A lot of this video is actually going to be new products by Covergirl. Covergirl put out a ton of new things at once. We have some Maybelline, we have some NYX, we just have a whole mixture of good and bad. Yes, I said good and bad. There are actually quite a few misses in this video. This video did not go how I wanted it to, but I did find some good gems at the end of the day, which I'm super excited for, but some stuff did make it into my no-no drawer. So that is what we are going to be doing today, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you like it and subscribe to my channel, and when you subscribe, hit that post notification bell so you can be notified whenever I upload a brand new video. So without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so we are actually going to be using a new eyeshadow base today. So as you know, I always use my NYX eyeshadow base, and there's actually not a lot of eyeshadow bases in the drugstore. I found one by Maybelline, but this one is actually by e.l.f. This is the e.l.f. Shadow Lock Eyelid Primer in the shade Sheer. It looks like a nice skin tone color. So I'm excited to use this. On the back it says, helps prep your eyelids for a smoother, long-lasting, crease-proof eyeshadow look. Apply a thin coat to the eyelid and blend in. Allow formula to dry before applying eyeshadow. So I believe this is only like $1 or $2 at Walmart. Really, really cheap. It looks like when you take it out, yep, there's a little tiny doe foot. So we're going to put this on the lids. Just need probably a little bit, like how much I would usually put on my lids. So it feels very smooth on the eyes, and it is a sheer color. You can barely really see it. What I like about my NYX eyeshadow base is I get the shade white, so you can see where it goes. So I personally like seeing my eyeshadow bases. I know a lot of people don't, but I like seeing where my eyeshadow base is just so I know I didn't miss any places. Okay, so while we let that dry, I'm going to go ahead and talk about the eyeshadow palette we're going to be using today. So this is by Makeup Revolution. This is the Reloaded Red Alert palette. Lots of pink and red tones, really pretty for the look I think I'm going to want to go for today. I went in my eyeshadow drawer looking for a palette that either is new or I haven't really used, and this one is open. I've only used like a couple shades, and I only used it one time. I used like this pink right here and this dark berry colored right here. But other than that, I haven't really like played with solely this palette, so I'm actually excited to use it. Okay, so the first color I think I'm going to take is going to be this color in the very bottom corner. It's kind of like a tannish coral, I would say. No, it's pretty much a really, really, really light brownish blush color, if that makes any kind of sense. But I think it's going to be perfect for our transition shade. So I'm going to go ahead and take that using a Morphe M441. This is a really fluffy blending brush. I'm going to dip into that, and we're just going to go ahead and throw this color in our crease. I've been waiting to do a full face of first impressions for weeks now because I feel like the drugstore kind of went through a dry spell of not really having a lot of new products coming out. I mean, there was new products coming out, but there definitely wasn't like multiple brands doing a lot at once to where you could do a full face. So that transition shade is in. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another color in our transition shade, kind of more pink tone, and it's going to be this one that's 2 shades above it in the very top right hand corner. So I'm going to take that using a Morphe M518 brush. This is a smaller fluffy brush. This is almost like a coral color. It reminds me of, what is that lipstick shade? I think it's by Maybelline. I think it's called Naked Coral. It reminds me of that color. So we're going to take that and we're going to put that in our crease as well, a little bit below that first transition shade. I'm pretty much wanting like a bunch of pink tones on my eye, but I'm going to try my best not to make this like a deep smoky shade. I've been really into smoky eyes lately when I'm filming, and I'm trying to lighten it up. I'm pretty much wanting something that it's like you can tell I have eyeshadow, but it's also soft at the same time, if that makes any kind of sense. I'm noticing that ever since I started YouTube, I'm doing a lot of stuff I never did before, like doing stuff on my lower lash line, wearing eyeliner, smoky eyes. I never did that before, but now I feel it's absolutely necessary. Which I guess is the benefit of doing YouTube. Like, you're kind of forced to do things you never would before. Like in trying out new products, if it's stuff I can only do a smoky eye with, then I have no choice but to do a smoky eye. So you're kind of forced to do things you normally wouldn't off camera. Alright, so there is that color all thrown in. So now what I think I'm going to do, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this really soft pink color in the bottom left hand corner. And I'm going to take that using a Morphe M167. It's a large flat brush. I'm going to dip into that and I'm going to put that on my lid about 1/3 in from the inner corner. And I'm not going to spray my brush or anything. This has a little bit of shimmer, but I'm not going to spray my brush because we're going to put something on top of this. This shade is pretty. It's like very skin tone, like flesh tone. Really like it. This is pretty much going to be a nice base for what we're going to put on top. So that shade is very sheer, but that's completely fine. We're really just using it for a base for what we are going to apply on top of it. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I just want to pink up that outer V just a little bit. I'm going to try my best not to make it smoky, but I'm going to take this hot pink color that's right in the middle of the palette, right here. I'm going to take that color using this Farrah double-ended brush. I got this in an Ipsy bag, I believe, a couple months ago. So we're going to dip into that. And I'm just going to put a little bit on my outer corner just to give it some more pink. Alright, so we're going to set that palette to the side, and now we are going to use the new Covergirl Exhibitionist Liquid Glitter Shadows. So it says, high shimmer, super saturated color. This is in the shade number 2, At First Blush. So we're going to go ahead and open this up. So this is what the component looks like. It looks just like the Stila Magnificent Metals liquid eyeshadows. And when you open it, it is a double-ended doe foot. So we're going to use this and we're going to put it over that color. We put it on our inner corner. And I've heard people say that you have to use this one of two ways. I've heard someone say that it works swiping. I've heard someone say that it works only tapping it. So I think I'm going to try swiping first. So I have a mirror right here for close up. So we're going to take this and I'm going to put it on my, ooh, that's pretty. So I'm going to try swiping it first. And pretty much you're putting this on the inner 1/3 where we put that really sheer pink. So that's the color swiping. So it does get broken up if you swipe it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the other end and I'm just going to tap the color on. So overall it's pretty. There is still a lot of breaking up right there in the almost the crease of my eye or right below the crease. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let that dry, do the other eye, and then see if I can put another layer on top of the other one. So this one I am just going to tap as much as I can the color on. So yeah, tapping is definitely the way to go. That one definitely went on with more pigment on it. There is still some breaking up like right where my crease is, so I don't know if maybe I need to keep my eyes like looking down so they don't break apart maybe. I'm going to go ahead and apply another layer on my first eye. Okay, so it definitely takes some finessing to get an even layer, but overall it's pretty. I'm still having a little breakage up where my crease is, but maybe that's just to be expected. And I will say, like, it feels different to blink my eyes, but I don't know if I'm being dramatic, but I will say it feels a little heavy. What I'm going to do is I'm going to dip back into that hot pink shade and just put that right in the center to kind of break up where that glitter is, so it's not such a harsh line where it ends. Alright, last one I'm going to do is I'm going to take our first and second transition shades. I'm going to mix them both together. And I just want to throw that a little bit in the crease where the glitter starts. Okay, eyes are done, so we're going to move right into the skin. I have two new primers I want to try. I don't have a primer spray, so I have just regular primers. So the first one is this new CoverGirl TruBlend Base Business Skin Primer, and it is the moisturizing one. And then the next one is by NYX. This is the Bear With Me Cannabis Sativa Seed Oil Radiant Perfecting Primer. So I'm going to go ahead and open the CoverGirl one up, and I think I'm going to put that on the right side of my face. So we're going to take some of this. So we're going to take some of this. I'm not going to take too much, maybe a little smaller than a dime, about that much. And it is really, really runny. So we're going to put that on the right side of my face. I'm going to leave my nose for the next one. So we're going to rub that in. So it feels thin when you first apply it, but then as you're putting it into your skin, it does feel like it thickens up. Doesn't feel like it was pore filling, but it doesn't claim to be, so I don't have a problem with that. Alright, and then here is the next one. So on the box it says, "We brought the good stuff." Infused with hemp-derived cannabis sativa oil and centennial extract, it preps your skin for makeup while blurring imperfections. Our hydrating formula also gives the complexion a radiant, revitalized glow, and it is suitable for all skin types. Okay, so this claims that it will blur my imperfections, and it is hydrating, and it should give me a radiant, revitalized glow. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and open that up, and it is a little squeezy too. This looks like a lotion, it's kind of cute. So that is what that looks like. It does look like it has a tint to it, and it looks like it has a shine, so I'm hoping this does leave a radiant glow. So we're going to take some of this, and same thing, I'm going to put it, yeah, it does have a glow. I'm going to put it on my face, we're going to rub it in. This almost smells like matcha green tea powder. I'm going to go ahead and take a little extra like I usually do and put it on the inside of my cheeks, because that is where my most imperfections are that I want blurred. Alright, so there's the NYX one I'll put on. I do feel like it did leave a glow, which I like. And then if I'm judging my skin, I feel like the NYX one feels much better. So moving on to foundation, I have the CoverGirl TruBlend liquid makeup we're going to be using today. Y'all know I like the CoverGirl TruBlend Matte Made foundation, but I've never tried this one, so we're going to see how this goes. I picked up the shade L5 Creamy Natural, which may be a little too dark for me considering the Matte Made one. I'm in the shade L40 Classic Ivory. Alright, so when you open it up, it comes with a pump. I'm going to be using my e.l.f. sponge. Alright, so we're going to take some of this out. Let's see how bad the color is. Oh yeah. It's a little too dark. We may be able to lighten up with foundation. I'm just going to go ahead and use it. So I don't know if this is supposed to have a dewy or a matte finish. It doesn't say, it just says TruBlend liquid makeup. So I guess we'll see. Okay, so there is about one half of my face done, and I will say right off the bat, I don't like it at all. First of all, the color is way too dark, but that's not on the foundation. That is completely on me. I thought it would work, but it is way too dark. I feel like there's like no coverage at all. If anything, I would compare this to like a BB cream. Like this isn't a foundation. It is definitely doing nothing for my pores. If anything, it is accentuating them a lot. It looks splotchy. I don't like it, but we're gonna go ahead and do the other half. I started doing my other half, but what I think I'm gonna do to see if I can get more coverage is try going in with a brush, which I never do before. This is a Real Techniques foundation brush, so we're gonna go ahead and take this. I think I'm just gonna take what's already on my face, but we're gonna take this and see if we can get more coverage. Yeah, even with a brush, I'm like, this isn't really doing anything. If anything, it's just like moving the product around until it's thin enough to dry. Yeah, this isn't doing anything for me. So there's the foundation I'll put on. It looks horrible. It feels very, very wet. I don't feel like it dries down at all. It looks splotchy. I can see all my pores, so. Alright, moving on to concealer. Hopefully we can save the foundation. I've had experiences where a really good concealer can save a foundation look. We're going to be using two today. The first one is going to be the CoverGirl TruBlend Undercover Concealer. This is new to the drugstore. And the other one is going to be the Maybelline Superstay Full Coverage Under Eye Concealer. So taking the CoverGirl one, I got the shade L100 Fair Porcelain, and it comes with a very large doe foot. I feel like a lot of brands have been doing this lately, trying to dupe the Tarte Shape Tape. So we're going to take this. I don't know if it's fast drying or not, so we're just going to put some on my under eyes. So applying it, it does feel sheer. It doesn't feel for coverage. Yeah, it feels very sheer. I'm going to put some on my smile line. I'm going to put some on my chin. So we're going to go ahead and blend this out. So right off the bat, I would say that I was right, and this is a super fast drying concealer because it is already not wanting to move from under my under eyes. Yeah, it's like stuck there. I just feel like it's not doing anything. The only reason it appears to have coverage is because it will not move from my under eye. I sense we're going to have another fail video because as I'm looking at my eyes, I don't like the liquid eyeshadow either. So, okay. Well, my fail videos seem to get a lot of views because that's my number one at like 130 views right now. So, yay, another one. Alright, that's the best I'm going to do on that side because it's just not moving. So we're going to go ahead and take the Maybelline Superstay Full Coverage Concealer. Looks like this out of the package. We're going to go ahead and open this up. I got the shade 50 Ivory. So it is a flat doe foot. We're going to go ahead and take this. Alright, you don't get a lot off the doe foot at all. It is very, very sheer. And it feels very thick. So right off the bat, I like this a lot more than the Covergirl one. It is less drying. It gives off more coverage. I still wouldn't say that this is full coverage. Yeah, I still wouldn't say that this is full coverage. Now my Milani Conceal and Perfect, that is full coverage. This I would not describe as full coverage at all. So we're going to be using the new CoverGirl TruBlend Minerals Loose Mineral Powder. This is in a new shade Translucent. Looks like this. So when you open it, it comes with this little powder puff. They've been doing this for years because my mom uses powder like this. So we're just going to go ahead and throw that away. I will never use that. What I do remember about this powder, because my mom uses CoverGirl powder like this in the big pots, is that it comes out very fast. So like even a little tap gives you full pot. So we're going to go ahead and dip into this. This isn't like a typical translucent white color. It does have a shade to it. So I don't know if this is going to tint my skin, but we're going to go ahead and apply it to my under eyes. So this powder seems very thick. I don't know. And I feel like it did tint my under eyes a lot of it actually. I don't know, y'all. I feel like it's kind of hard to blend out into the skin. I feel like it wants to sit in one place. The only pro I could say it's doing right now is lightening up this foundation. So, I mean, that's good. Also, if you hear a lot of noises while I'm moving, my chair has started to squeak. Like, yeah, I need to like do something about it. Okay, so there's the powder I'll put on. Right off the bat, it is really, really drying. It does nothing for my skin. It was really hard to blend out, so yeah. So for bronzer, this is not a first impression, but I'm still testing it out. This is the Wet n Wild Pacman Power Pellets bronzer. I did a whole video on the Pacman collection, and this is something I just still don't understand, like what is the purpose of pellet form? But I'm still trying it out, so we're going to use this for our bronzer, and I'm going to use that Wet n Wild powder brush that came in the collection. So I'm going to dip into this, and my plan is to not go as heavy-handed as I did in that video. So I'm going to take just a little bit on this brush. This is super, super pigmented, and I'm going to carefully bronze my skin. Okay, right off the bat, I don't know if you can see it, but me just putting bronzer on, my foundation and stuff is breaking up on my forehead, and it's settling into my fine lines. So right off the bat, I don't like that. I will say, looking at my skin, I do like my skin better on this side. It still looks bad, but my pores are less exposed on this side than this side, which tells me that the NYX primer is better than the CoverGirl. Alright, I don't know why I would do this to myself, but we're going to go ahead and cut our cheeks using the loose powder. Alright, so for eyebrows, I'm going to be trying out this Wet n Wild Retractable Brow Pencil. It looks like it has an angled brow pomade at the one end and a spoolie at the other. So this is what it looks like. I got the shade Taupe, so let's go ahead and open it up. Yep, so it has a nice angle at the end. Don't know if you can really see that. So I'm going to go ahead and try this out. Y'all already know I definitely prefer a pomade. You know what, before I do this, let me do a swatch real quick. Just do it right here. Okay, so not a lot of pigment comes off. Probably have to build it up. No? Alright, so it's not that pigmented at all, but we're going to go ahead and use it. So I'm going to use the spoolie and comb my eyebrows into place. And yep, the foundation's even breaking up above my eyebrows. Alright, and then using this side, we are going to comb them in. Yeah, right off the bat, this doesn't have a lot of pigment. You definitely have to keep going over. I don't like it. Okay, so there is one eyebrow on. Right off the bat, I don't like it. It was super hard to work with. This video sucks, honestly. This video just sucks. Okay, so there are the eyebrows on, and I feel like I'm being a little bit negative just because this video is not going well. So I'm going to give this product the benefit of the doubt that it did its job, but it is not as smooth as a pomade would be. But that's not fair to put that on the pencil because it is not a pomade pot. It is a pencil. This product is okay. It gets the job done. Could I get it done faster with pomade? Yes, but it is not a pomade. So overall, this product is okay. Positive. To quickly set my eyebrows in place, I'm going to use the new CoverGirl Easy Breezy Brow Volumizing Brow Gel in the shade Light Pale. Looks like this. So this is what it looks like. When you open it up, it has a little bitty spoolie, so we're just gonna use this to set the eyebrows in place. Okay, I like them much better now that I have a brow gel in them. All right, the brow gel is good, so pretty much this is the only good thing I've tried so far. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a stippling brush and dust away the bake, hopefully. Oh my God, no. Y'all, it's like stuck on my face. Okay, so for blush, this could go really, really good or really, really bad. So Revlon came out with these new Photoready Cheek Flushing Tints, and they are liquid blushes. So I got two shades. I got the shade 2 Flashy and the shade 1 Hot. So looking at them, I think this is going to be too pink, so I'm going to go in with this one, the shade Flashy. So when you open it up, it is literally a liquid blush on a huge doe foot. So I think the best thing to do...
To apply that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with this. This is from Moda. This is their like sponge that has the flat ends, because I feel like that'll be easiest on the cheeks. I'm going to apply it to like the flat end of the sponge and then apply it to my cheeks just so I don't get like...
Okay, so what someone did was they took the flat end of a beauty sponge and they actually applied the product on there and then onto their cheeks, so they didn't get so much color. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to apply it a little bit to the sponge. I don't know how this is going to work out because I feel like the sponge absorbs a lot. Alright. So I just painted like that much on there, and I'm just going to, where I would normally put blush, which is like focused mostly in the back. Okay. This is not bad. This is not bad. That's pretty. Oh, finally. Okay, that is pretty. I actually do like that. I'm going to take a powder brush and just go on top of it, see if I can diffuse a little bit of it. That is not bad at all. I thought it was going to break up like all the powder and foundation, but it didn't. I used a dry beauty sponge, by the way. I did it dry, and then I lightly touched my face, not even with pressure, just tap, tap, tap. I like it. I like that product. Okay, that's cool. I feel like these would be really good too, like on no makeup days if you want a little hint of color to just put it on your skin. So these are cool. So I'm not going to do false lashes today because I don't like how my makeup looks. I'm going to take it off right after. So I'm going to be using a new mascara. This is the Covergirl Exhibitionist mascara in the shade Very Black. Looks like that. So it has a really long wand. So we're going to use this. I'm just going to coat my eyelashes. I have really short eyelashes anyway, but just to give them a little color. This has a really strong smell. So this I feel like does a good job of lifting my eyelashes. It definitely lifts them more than other mascaras do. I almost want to say it even does a good job of giving them some length. I haven't seen my eyelashes look this long in a while. Okay, so there's mascara I'll put on, and I will say that this did a really good job of really lifting my lashes and giving them some volume and maybe even a little length. I have really short eyelashes because I use falsies so much, but these actually did pretty good. So before we move on to highlight, I'm going to use another thing from that NYX Bear With Me Cannabis collection. This is the lip conditioner. So I'm going to apply this and let it sit there until we are ready to do our lips. This feels really good. It doesn't feel like a sticky, tacky gloss or anything. I like it. I like this a lot. It also doesn't have like an overwhelming smell. It's very soothing, very calm. Yeah, I really like the way this feels. So for highlighter, I actually want to try out two different ones that just came out by Covergirl. The first one is going to be this Covergirl TruBlend Super Stunner Hyperglow, and I got the shade Pearl Crush. And then the next one is going to be this Covergirl TruBlend Super Stunner Liquid Strobing Highlighter in the shade Pink Pearl. So opening up this one, this is what this looks like. It's pretty much a champagne color with a little hint of pink in it. So I'm going to apply this using my usual Morphe M501 brush. Y'all know I love this brush. So I'm going to swirl into this, and a lot comes off. I'm going to put it on this side. Ooh. That's pretty. Finally, something goes right in this video. Alright, I'm going to put that to the side. We're going to go ahead and open up the liquid one. So this is what this one looks like. Let's go ahead and take the lid off, and it is a squeezy tube. This looks really, oh, it is really, really pink. It's like a dark pink. Ew. I'm going to put some on the back of my hand first and see how it turns out. So I got the back of my hand, got some on my hand. Let's just put it right here. Oh. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take some on my finger and tap where I want it to go. Okay. do that, and then I'm gonna take this Flower Beauty brush. I can't remember if this is the concealer brush. I think it is. I'm just gonna put it where I want it. It's pretty. I don't think I do a good job with liquid highlighters. I don't know if maybe it's me, like I don't know how to apply it, but I feel like it gets spread out too much. I don't know. So it's pretty. It is really, really pink. It is not as blinding as this one. It's pretty. Would I see myself using it? No. So I'm going to go back into the first highlighter we're using, and I'm actually going to put that on top of that. Okay, so for our lips, Maybelline just came out with 6 new lip glosses in collaboration with Summer McKeen. So my Walmart had 2 in stock, the first one being Barefoot and the other one being Tan Line. So Barefoot is definitely more pink tone, Tan Line is more neutral, so that is what both of them look like. They're very similar, just different tones really. I think what I'm going to go for is the shade Tan Line. It is more neutral colored. So we're going to go into this. So it looks like that. We're going to go ahead and apply it on our lips. This smells like buttercream. So these are pretty. These definitely give off a really wet look. But what I like about it is they're not tacky. I love glosses that are not tacky. I don't wear a lot of glosses because so many of them are tacky, but this feels really nice. Okay, I couldn't find a new setting spray at the drugstore, so I'm going to have to break my own rule because I need setting spray. I'm just going to go in with my favorite Maybelline Lasting Fix. And that, guys, concludes today's full face of first impressions. We're going to run through the products real quick and let you know what my opinion's on them. Okay, so starting off with primer, as you know, we used 2, and my opinion on them is I would choose the NYX Bare With Me over this CoverGirl one. I believe this didn't really do anything for my skin. My pores still look horrible. My skin did feel a little bit hydrated, but if that's all this primer is going to do, then it's not enough for me. This Bare With Me Cannabis one was really, really good. I do feel like my pores did blur a little bit, not as much as if I used my Catrice primer or my Hard Candy Blur primer, but this did do what it said. I did get a nice radiant glow when I used it, and so this is, you know, it stuck to his word. That's good enough for me. The foundation was horrible. The color was totally off, which was personally my fault, not saying the foundation, but it wasn't matte, it wasn't dewy, it was just really splotchy and horrible, barely any coverage. I would compare this to like a CC cream, something you could throw on real quick, but even if it was a CC cream, I would never use this. The coverage was just horrible. The formula is horrible, so this is a big no for me. So as of right now, both of the concealers are a miss for me. However, I do feel like I want to try them with like my regular primers and foundation and see if my opinions are different on them, because I've heard the CoverGirl one is amazing. However, I've never heard of this one. Let me know your opinions on this if you tried it, but I've never heard of this Maybelline Superstay one. I will say not a lot comes off on the doe foot at all. You do have to keep dipping in, and it looks very sheer. My first impression on the CoverGirl one, however, though, it did clean and it is super drying. It clung to my under eye, but overall, after judging it and all the products that went on top of it, it looks okay. Is it my favorite? No, but I'm willing to give both of these another try. Moving on to the powder, this CoverGirl loose powder was horrible. It is just a super thick formula. It has a dark tint on it for being translucent. I mean, it looks much lighter in the pot than it does like once it comes out of here. It has a much darker tint to it, so if you're trying to highlight your skin, this will not get the job done when you are setting it. It was also really hard to blend out. Like when I cut my cheeks, when I did my eyebrows, I left the powder on for the same amount of time, but when I went to blend it out with my stippling brush, I almost thought it was going to stay. I thought we were going to have to cancel this video because it would not move. I will also say that this settles into my fine lines. It makes my skin look really dry. Even after setting my face with setting spray, it looks really dry. My forehead, it's bad. It's bad. After using this bronzer for another time, I'm just going to have to go ahead and say that this is a miss for me. I just don't understand the pellet form. I don't know why you did this Wet n Wild. I love y'all. I love y'all to death. But what is the purpose of the pellet form? Please tell me. I would have just felt more comfortable if this was in a pan, like just plain and simple, a pan. I don't get it. If you go in with a light hand, you don't get anything. If you go in with too heavy, then it looks a hot mess. So I spent a good 5 minutes just applying bronzer, something I could get done in a minute or less. These Revlon Cheek Flushing Tints were actually much better than I expected it to be. I expected these to break up my makeup, but they blended in beautifully using the Beauty Blender. I'm happy I looked it up beforehand, because otherwise I would have applied it to my cheeks first and then either used a brush or my wet sponge. So I'm happy I looked up how someone else did it first. These gave a beautiful color. It wasn't too much. Even going over it with a powder brush, it was able to blend out a little and lighten up. So I really like the color. The one I used, by the way, if you didn't hear, was the color Flashy. For mascara, this Covergirl Exhibitionist mascara is amazing. I haven't seen my natural eyelashes be this volumized in quite a long time, and I do like that they didn't claim that we could give them the most volume. Like, I hate when brands do that. Just say it gives good volume. Just like, oh, with the most 99%, blah, blah, blah. This was really good for me. I love the color. It does have a strong mascara scent, so if you don't really like the smell of mascara, just be forewarned of that. The two eyebrow products were okay for me. I was just getting really angry at this video when applying the Wet n Wild brow pencil. Overall, this was okay. It's just not a pomade. Y'all know I love my brow pomades. I just love the pot. It's much faster. But if you want like more defined eyebrows or really want to take your time, this is a good product. And y'all know I love my brow gels, so this CoverGirl Easy Breezy Brow Gel was amazing. Really quickly before I forget, the e.l.f. Eyelid Primer was really good. It dried down really nice, and I believe the eyeshadow stuck really nice to it. And then the CoverGirl Liquid Eyeshadow, I'm going to have to give this another try. As of right now, it looks beautiful on my eyes, but I just don't think I like what I did with it. It looks nice. It did dry nice. At first I thought my eyelids felt really heavy, but I think that was just from keeping my eyes down to let them dry for a while. When it comes to either swiping it on or packing it on, I do agree that you should pack it on, because when you swipe, that is what causes it to be broken up. I will also say that it helps to layer it. Don't keep putting it on so wet. Do a thin layer first, let it dry, and then reapply. This NYX Bare With Me lip conditioner was amazing. It felt really good. It didn't have a strong scent, and it wasn't tacky whatsoever. The two highlighters we used, the CoverGirl TruBlend Super Stunner Liquid Highlighter, I just didn't get it. It was okay on the skin, but I will just never personally use liquid highlighters. I probably need to stop buying them to review if I'm never going to use them in the first place. But you know, I keep holding out hope that one will change my mind and make me fall in love with using like liquid and jelly highlighters, but that hasn't happened yet. Will I stop buying them? Probably not. But will I be using them? No. But the TruBlend Super Stunner Hyperglow was amazing. I love the formula. It's a nice natural. I'm lying. It's not natural. It could probably be natural if you put less than I do, but it was a really pretty formula. This is actually the first CoverGirl highlighter I've tried, and I'm super impressed. I love the color, so this was good for me. I think I'm down to the last new product we used. This new lip gloss by Maybelline. I love the smell of this. I just want to know what it is. I think it smells like white chocolate ice cream. I know that sounds weird, but like I think it does. I love the smell, I love the color, and I love the formula that it is not a tacky finish. This is why I don't wear a lot of glosses, because I don't like the tacky feeling of something being on my lips, but this just glides on and gives it a beautiful shine. So that is it for today's video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it, and hopefully I will see you on the next one. Bye, guys.